Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to bring in the 14-game NBA main slate here on Wednesday. A couple things before I get into the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos for NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS on here on Draftkings. Also, I'm doing a weekly giveaway where all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. That's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment level per video. It starts with my Monday Night Showdown video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. We'll end my Monday Night Showdown video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, you enter the giveaway that many times. So say if I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, you enter the giveaway 10 times. And the winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. With that out of the way, let's jump in the video. So first, let's look back to see how we did for Tuesday's two-game slate. So this is what I went with here with Lou Williams, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kawhi, Porzingis, Zubac, Jordan McRae, Paul Millsap, and Jokic. So, it was either the two builds basically were the mid-tier build or you played kind of a more stars and scrubs approach with playing Luke at the top. So, I made a tweet about how I was kind of surprised Luka was 75% owned against the Clippers. I understand the play completely, but I just really like the mid-range tonight. Guys like Lou Williams, Kawhi, Paul George, Kristaps. There's a lot of really solid plays. Will Barton. So that's kind of why I was a little bit surprised. And then I made another tweet about how I thought he was a good contrarian play. In my mind, I thought he was a contrarian play because I thought the mid-tier was the best way to go about it, and it ended up kind of not making sense. Someone quote tweeted it was 75% owned, but contrarian. What? And I was look back at it. I was like, yeah, I kind of looked dumb, so I just deleted it. I was like, whatever. But yeah, that's what I meant. I thought the mid tier approach was the way to go. There was some solid value guys. I talked about Jordan McRae. I talked about Millsap. Zubac was okay. Unfortunately here for my own lineup, Millsap and Jokic did not come back in there in the fourth. So that was a little bit, tilting, but still cashed in that tournament. I played light. It was a two-game slate, but we have a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. 14 games. This is, I think, the biggest slate so far this season. So let me pull this up. And then let's go over the over-unders and the spreads that we have out right now. So we have 9 games out right now. We have Nets Celtics sitting at 225.5 with the Celtics favored by 6.5 points. Pistons Hornets at 216.5 with the Pistons favored by 4. Kings 76ers at 210 with the 76ers favored by 9.5. Knicks Raptors is at 209.5 with the Raptors favored by 10.5 points. Hawks Bucks is 239.5, but the Bucks are favored by 14.5 points. Timberwolves Spurs at 229 with the Spurs favored by 2.5. Wizards Suns is at 242.5 with Phoenix favored by 8 points. Lakers Pelicans right now is at 230.5 with the Lakers favored by 6.5. And then Thunder Trailblazers at 220 with the Trailblazers favored by 3. Again, we're still waiting on 5 games here. As I make this video really, really late, Wednesday, I guess Tuesday night technically, but it's into Wednesday now. Let's start with center here. And at the top is Karl-Anthony Towns. Again, going up against the Spurs. This is a solid spot here, right? San Antonio has really struggled defensively this year. 10.3K is very much viable for him. I think he's got 60, maybe even 70 fantasy point upside in the spot. So I think Towns is very viable here. But again, there's a lot of basically every team is playing on the slate, so there's a lot of guys to talk about, break down. Anthony Davis here at 10K. Let's just probable. It's a really good spot here against the Pelicans. Again, anytime you target Anthony Davis, there is the slight concern he gets injured, right? He's made of glass, but if this game stays close and if he stays healthy, I think he probably could get you, into the 60, maybe even 65 fantasy points. Drummond at 9.4K, I get it. It's a decent spot here against Charlotte, but it's not for me with Blake back. Again, I just don't think we have to do that. Joel Embiid at 9.1. This is an interesting, kind of buy low, I guess. He just had a terrible game against Toronto. 0 of 11, did not score the ball, only had 17 fantasy points. This is an okay spot here against the Kings, and the price is reasonable. So, yeah, again, I think Embiid is more of close to a 10K player, so I still think he's a bit underpriced. Siakam, him and Fred VanVleet, I say it every single time I break down these Toronto guys, but they play 40 minutes a night in close games. Now, the concern here is it's at Toronto, New York, obviously not the best team, so there is some blowout risk. So you got to take that in consideration. If the game stays close, I think him and Fred VanVleet could have pretty big games. So Rudy Gobert at 8.7 currently listed as questionable. If he plays, probably not for me, but if he misses, we could look to Tony Bradley. Now, they did finally raise the price on him where he's not like a smash value play anymore, but I still think he would be in play if Gobert does miss. Capella at 8.2 listed as questionable with an illness. So, if he misses, I don't even want to say we can consider Tyson Chandler because I really don't want to play it, but there's not a whole lot of great value plays right now, so that will be something we have to monitor. Now, Sabonis at 7.9K, I know it's not necessarily the best spot here against Utah, but if Gobert misses that game, that's a big piece defensively that they would be missing. So if Gobert misses, I think Sabonis would be very much viable here at 7.9K. He's been just unbelievable this year, and the price actually came down on him. So yeah, I think he's very viable. Jarrett Allen at 7.6K. Did they? Where is DeAndre Jordan? Oh, did I pass over him? Hold on. Okay, he's still questionable. So if he misses, Jarrett Allen played huge minutes with no DeAndre Jordan. He played. Let me go to him. He played 34 minutes. Now, I don't think we could expect 62 fantasy points again from Jarrett Allen if DeAndre Jordan misses, but I still think he would be playable there. I know the price is up, but he would have to play probably mid-30s minutes again. This is a Bam Adebayo here at 7.5K. Really like the spot for him. It's a pace-up spot for Miami. He's going to play probably mid-30s minutes in a close game. And again, this is a pretty good spot. So 7.5K for Bam. I think he goes kind of forgotten about in the slate, but I do like his upside at that price. Kevin Love against Orlando at 7.5. It's just okay, but probably not for me on this slate. Montrezl Harrell, it's a back-to-back. The price is up too, and there's always a potential with the blowout, right? The Clippers are one of the best teams in the NBA, so don't know if I want to go there. Wendell Carter Jr. at 6.9K is an intriguing play. It's a good spot, but the price is coming up there to the point where I don't know if I want to do it. LaMarcus Aldridge at 6.9K has been strung together a few pretty solid games here. 39, 29, 40, and 44 fantasy points the last 4 games. This is a really good spot here against Minnesota. So, and the price has come down. So I think he's a pretty fair play here in the mid-range with a bit of upside. Whiteside at 6.6. It's a tougher spot against OKC. They limited his minutes to only 23 in the game against the Bulls. I think it was because of the blowout, though. Had 36 fantasy points in 23 minutes. The price is coming up, so yeah, I think he's okay, but not my favorite play. Tristan Thompson, I guess you could consider him if Kevin Love misses. Randall against Toronto, probably not for me. Nance, you could consider if Love misses, but now the price is coming up, and it's a tougher spot, so I think I'll probably pass there. Let's see, what else? Jaren Jackson Jr. is always a guy you can consider for GPPs, but he's just so up and down. Kelly Olynyk, the minutes have been pretty consistent for him. 31, 32 back-to-back games. If he's going to continue to play those type of minutes, I think he's playable. But again, the price is up, and now you're paying a premium for him. So let's see. Favors at 5.5K is listed as questionable. If he ends up going, it's probably just a complete stay away from the Pelicans bigs for me. With everyone being healthy. So that will be something we'll have to monitor. Marc Gasol, again, I swear that price has not moved. I think he's been 5.4K this whole year. The Golden State guys like Chris, Spellman, Willie Cauley-Stein, we can look to those guys if Draymond misses in a decent spot here against Chicago, right? Chris has been playing low to mid-20s minutes with no Draymond, so I think he would be a viable, cheaper option. We still have no Daniel Tice, so that means Cantor is very much viable again. And we got Tony Bradley here at 5K. So if Rudy Gobert misses, I think Bradley would still be playable. Now, he was crushing in that game against Milwaukee. He had literally, I think, 28 fantasy points at halftime and then picked up his 4th foul right away and, came back in, picked up his 5th foul. He only played like I think 5 minutes there in the second half. So I think we got a bit unlucky with foul trouble. If he didn't get in foul trouble, he probably could have put up 40, maybe even 50 fantasy points. So I think we could consider him if if Rudy Gobert misses, even at a elevated price point there at 5K. Cantor 5K, again, the price is coming up, but with no Daniel Tice, there's a lot of minutes to go around. And Brooklyn, they have a traditional center out there at all times with either Jared Allen or DeAndre Jordan. So I think Boston's going to have to play big. I don't think they can run small ball. So I think Enes Kanter would probably get around 25 minutes again, and it's a pretty good spot. So I think even at an elevated price point for him would be very much viable. Let's see, Kaminsky. What's the status here? And let me go to Aaron Baines. So he did get ruled out, right? Ruled out. Okay, so we could look to Kaminsky. The tricky part with Phoenix is they have 3 guys they can use. They have Kaminsky, Saric, and Cheat Diallo, who just had a big game. So it's kind of hard to predict who's going to get the minutes. I think they're kind of going with a hot hand, which makes it kind of tough again to predict for DFS purposes. Mo Bamba 4.9K with no Vucevic. Not going to play huge minutes, and the price is up. I think that's just like a GPP play, really. Again, like Willie Cauley-Stein, I would look to him if Draymond misses. He's been kind of bad, but they would only have an 8-man rotation again. Let's see, Jackson Hayes, like him, Melly, Okafor. I don't think we could even look to those guys if Derek Favors plays. But I think, again, Diallo at 4.1K. I don't know if we should chase this big game. He played 36 minutes, put up 32 fantasy points. Again, they've kind of been riding with a hot hand. We know when this guy gets minutes, he does have upside. But can we expect 36 minutes from him again? I don't think so. It is a pretty good spot here against Washington, so I don't think he's out of play. But I would not expect him to play 36 minutes again. Zubac's always viable, but the downside is, again, he's never going to play huge minutes. Bobby Portis at 4K, I guess he's okay, but again, yeah, Tyson Chandler here at 3.8K, but he's been so bad. I don't even think I would do it if Capella misses that game. But that's really it. So let's move on to power forward. Giannis at the top at 12.4. He just had a huge game in a bad matchup there against Utah. In 38 minutes, put up 83 fantasy points, 50 real-life points. Now he gets a great spot here against Atlanta. Again, my analysis with Giannis is basically the same every single video. It's whether or not you think that opposing team can keep it close. If you do, Giannis can probably have a big game. If they don't, then he's probably only going to get you like 50 to 60 fantasy points. So, yeah, it's the same thing again here. It's a really good spot, but I think Milwaukee's favored like 15 points, so you got to factor that in, especially on a 14-game slate. Paul George, the Clippers guys are okay, but again, they're a pretty balanced team, and there's always some blowout risk, right? Brandon Ingram at 8.3K in a revenge game. I know it's a bad spot, but he's just been unbelievable this year. He's their go-to guy. He's playing huge minutes. He's probably going to want some revenge here. Now, revenge narratives this year have not been going so well. Kemba busted in the revenge narrative. Rozier busted. There's been some other guys that have not done good in revenge games. But, like I said, he's been really good. I know it's a tough spot, but it is a pretty high overrun, too. I think it's at 230.5. So, very much playable there at 8.3. Let's see, other options. The Boston guys, so they're okay. It's a good spot, but we do have Kemba is most likely coming back, so that is a downgrade to those guys. Tatum, again, 7.3K, I think it is viable in a pretty good spot, but with Kemba back, there is more or less usage to go around, I should say. Blake Griffin just looking like a shell of his former self right now. I can't do it until he flashes a bit of upside. See, Oubre, interesting there, but the price is up at 6.9K. It is a really good spot. Again, he's been a bit up and down, so maybe for GPPs only. Eric Pascal, again, we would look to these Golden State guys for sure if Draymond misses once again. Thomas Bryant at that price, I don't mind it. Again, the downside with him is, though, they do use Mo Wagner, and they kind of roll with a hot hand. So the minutes aren't necessarily secure for him either. Let's see. Saric, again, him and Diallo had the big game last time out. It's a good spot here against Washington. I think one of those guys will have a pretty good game. But to say which one it's going to be, it's a little tricky, right? They've been up and down. They're kind of riding with the hot hand. So Saric, Kaminsky, Diallo, all very much playable in a really good spot here against Washington. I think one of those guys, maybe two, can get you there. So on a slate that kind of lacks value, I think we got to consider those guys. Bertans at 5.3K, don't hate that. DeAndre Hunter at 5.2 listed as probable. He's been pretty solid, playing mid-30s minutes, but the price is getting up to the point where I don't think he's like a great value play. OG at 4.8, don't mind it. It's a pretty decent spot against the Knicks. And again, there's not a whole lot of great value plays. Again, Mo Wagner, him and Thomas Bryant are kind of splitting the center minutes. They will ride with the hot hand there. Let's see, what else? Kuzma at 4.5 in a good spot against the Pelicans. Don't hate that. But I think that is basically it. So let's move on to small forward. LeBron at 11.5K. Again, it's a really good spot here against the Pelicans. Pelicans, one of the worst defenses in the league, and they played a really fast pace. So LeBron, Anthony Davis, have no issue with them. I think both have really big upside. Taking their prices into consideration, I think I would slightly lean towards Anthony Davis for $1,500 less. But have no issue if you want to go LeBron there at 11.5. Again, Kawhi, Paul George, I think they're very much viable. It's a good spot here against Memphis. The concern is, do you think Memphis can keep it close? Again, the Clippers, one of the best teams in the NBA, so they're always at some blowout risk. Jimmy Butler, I do like the price on him a good amount here at 8K. It's a really good spot here against Houston. There's been back-to-back blowouts here against Philly and Charlotte. So the price has, I guess, kind of, 8.6 to 7.7 to 8K. So I guess it technically went up. But either way, like I said, it's a really good spot. And in a close game, he's going to play mid-30s to high 30s minutes. So I do like him a decent amount here in the mid-range. I think he's very much viable. Wiggins at 7.7K is playable, right? They started him, kind of at the point there, played 36 minutes, 38 fantasy points. It's a good spot. Normally, I'm not a Wiggins guy, but I think he's playable here. Ben Simmons at 7.6K. I just think it's a price tag thing for him. I think he's more of like an 8 to 8.5K player. So, again, I think he's a little bit underpriced here. DeRozan, don't hate that. Let's see. Middleton is going to come back, but they're going to limit his minutes. So that definitely takes a secondary, Milwaukee pieces out of play. Bogdanovich, they've been, listing him with that hamstring injury on the injury report the last few games, but he's been playing. The thing is, they have been kind of limiting his minutes, 28 and 29 minutes. This is a tough spot, but if Sacramento's going to keep this one close, Bogdan's probably going to have a big game, and he is their playmaker. So I actually don't mind taking a shot there at 6.4K. Josh Richardson's been really good. But I think I would prefer just to play Ben Simmons for a little bit more. Let's see, what else? Yeah, we still have no Aaron Gordon, still no Vucevic. Can you consider those value Orlando guys? I guess. Let me go to Orlando really quick. What's their prices? Like Aminu 4.3 and Wundo 3.5. What's Birch? Birch is 4.2. It's just these guys they have like no upside. Even on a slate that lacks value, I just don't think we have to do it. Other small forwards, let's see. Again, Sarge, I think one, maybe even two of those Phoenix bigs will probably will have a big game there in a really good spot there against Washington. DiVincenzo, right? The secondary Milwaukee pieces are kind of out of play with Middleton now back. Danuel House at 4.5K. Don't mind it, right? He's going to probably play mid-30s minutes in a close game. He's not a guy that has huge upside, but this slate kind of lacks in value play. So I think he's playable. Is there anything else here small forward-wise? I don't think so. Like Shaq Harrison at 4K against Golden State. Probably will play low, maybe mid-20s minutes, I should say. And at 4K, I mean, he has flash upside a bit, so I think he's viable. Where is Jordan McRae's price at? Is he only a shooting guard? Although let's say it's shooting guard at 3.8K. So I played him tonight again against Denver in 24 minutes for 33 fantasy points. I think he would be a viable cheap option. They seem content giving him some decent minutes right now. But that's basically it for small forward. So let's move on to shooting guard. At the top is Harden, 11.8K in a tougher spot here against Miami. I think he goes pretty low owned compared to the other stars in the slate. And yeah, again, anytime you can get a low owned Harden, don't mind taking a shot there if you want. I think it'll probably be under 10% owned. And he's matchup proof. So yeah, I think he's very much viable as a GPP play there at 11.8K. Beal at 9.6 in a tougher spot against Phoenix. Phoenix has been really solid defensively. So yeah, he's just more of a contrarian play, honestly, at that price. Devin Booker at 8.5K. It is a really good spot here against Phoenix, but we do have Ricky Rubio is probable, so that does limit the upside there on Booker a bit. I still think he's viable just because of the matchup, but I don't think he has like enormous upside with Ricky Rubio now playing alongside of him. Drew Holiday's okay at 8.1. I think I would slightly prefer Ingram for a little bit more, though. I do like Fred VanVleet's price still a good amount here. Again, the concern with him and Siakam is just the blowout risk, right? You got to hope New York can keep it close. If New York keeps it close, I think, again, Fred VanVleet probably plays 40 minutes. And at this price right now, that's too cheap. So I do like him. The only downside is the potential blowout. Dinwiddie at 7.8K, it is a tougher spot. But again, he is their go-to guy right now. I still don't think that price is coming out there enough right now. Other options, I kind of like Levine here at 7.1K. Going up against Golden State, a really good spot. We know he has upside, right? 60 fantasy points in the game against Charlotte. He's not going to play huge minutes, but I think low 30s minutes if he's playing well, maybe a little bit more. And again, this is one of the better spots. He's going to be aggressive. So at 7.1K, I think he is very, very viable there in the mid-range. Lou Williams, don't hate it. Again, the concern with these Clippers guys is just, do you think Memphis can keep that game close? Brogdon at 6.8K, it is a tougher spot, but I still think the price makes him in play. He's going to play, low 30s minutes in a close game. SGA in a good spot here at 6.6K. Again, I think he's fair play. Don't think he's the best play. Don't think he's the worst play. Marcus Smart, I believe he's probable. Reactivated jamming his knuckle. I think he'll be okay. If he misses, then, that would be a boost to those, other wings there for Boston. See, Burks, again, those Golden State guys, if Draymond misses, would be very much viable just because they would have to run an 8-man rotation once again. Schroeder, I liked him the other night where he put up, 31 fantasy points there against Golden State. Again, he's going to come off the bench and play low or close to 30 minutes, and he's going to shoot the ball a decent amount. So I think he's playable still in a pretty solid matchup, even though the price is up on him a bit. RJ Barrett, is he? Okay, he's going to be good to go. So that takes some, potential value with Knox now out of play. Kendrick Nunn at 5.5K. The downside with him is just the minutes have been a bit up and down, right? They have other guys they can use. They have Dragic, they have Hero. So that is the concern. At 5.5K, I think he's okay. It just, again, the minutes, we don't know what they're going to be. Kobe White only for GPPs is a good spot, but if he's not playing well, they won't give him huge minutes. Other value plays, kind of the same situation there. Satoransky, right? If he's playing well, they'll give him decent minutes. If not, they won't. There's not a whole lot to like here. Like Corey Joseph, I guess, is okay at 4.6K. Again, the slate, there's really not a whole lot of great value plays. Like KCP, we could even consider in a great spot, but man, it's KCP. Is Cam Reddish questionable? Probable. Okay, yeah. So I think he should be good to go. Yeah, McRae, I think he's very much playable here. He's probably going to play low to mid 20s minutes, but he's been solid for them. So yeah, 3.8K. I think he's a viable cheap option. I think that's really it though for for shooting guards. So let's move on to point guard. Let's see, Trae Young at 9.9K. It's a tougher spot here against Milwaukee. This is definitely a GPP only play, but if Atlanta's going to somehow keep this game close, Trae Young's going to have a big game. So yeah, I think he's, if the game somehow stays close, he could put up 60 to 70 fantasy points. So that's why I think he's more just suited for GPPs. Still no Kyrie, so that's why we can consider Dinwiddie. Westbrook at 8.8. I just think he's okay. I liked it when he was like 8K range. 8.8 now in a tougher spot. I'm not super excited about it, but I get it if you want to go there. Lillard at 8.6 seems like a pretty fair price for him. Don't mind that. Let's see. Bledsoe with like Middleton back, probably not for me. John Morant, this is pretty big news. He is listed as questionable. He had a tough fall. He actually came back into the game though. If he ends up missing, then a guy like Tyus Jones would probably be. I'd assume they could start him. I mean, Grayson Allen's been getting minutes too. Even Melton. So we would see who they started. Last time when John Morant missed a game, it was Tyus Jones. And if Tyus Jones would start. With John Morant being out, I think Tyus Jones would probably be the best value play of the day. So that will be something we also monitor going into tomorrow. Well, technically today, since it's 1:43 a.m. here in Michigan. Let's see what else. Rozier against Detroit at 6.4K. He's okay, right? Him and Devontae Graham, the minutes are the most secure for them. Like they're going to play mid-30s minutes in a close game. And at 6.4K, I don't mind that. Bowman, again, we can look to him if Draymond misses. He's going to play huge minutes, right? 36 and 39 minutes. So I think he'd be very viable if Draymond Green does miss. Justice Winslow is... Oh, he's actually going to be back. Okay, so that will take a hit to... some of those other, Miami pieces, Duncan Robinson will play less. A couple of those guards will play less. So that actually is pretty big news. I still like Jimmy Butler. I still like Bam. But those secondary Miami pieces that like Kendrick Nunn, like Dragic off the bench, basically everyone else gets a hit with Winslow returning. Winslow himself at 6.1K in a good spot. I think he's okay. I don't think it's the best play, but I just think he's okay. Jeff Teague, they actually brought him off the bench. Still played 31 minutes, had a bad game. Now, I think I would consider him if he starts. If he comes off the bench again, I don't know. So that will be something we will have to monitor. Draymond Green himself at 5.7K. If he plays, I would like him a good amount. If he misses, again, then we'll look to all those other guys. Probably Bowman being my favorite. But those bigs, with Chris, Spellman, Cauley Stein. We could look to like Alec Burks. So Ricky Rubio at 5.5K is listed as probable. With that, he had back spasms. So if they're not going to limit him, which I don't think they would, I think Ricky Rubio is probably one of the best value plays of the day here. It's a really good spot here against Washington. In close games, he's probably going to play low to mid 30s minutes. And again, this is one of the better spots at a decreased salary. I would really, really like Ricky Rubio if he's not going to be limited. Rajon Rondo too. Revenge game here against the Pelicans at 5K. Not going to play huge minutes, but 25 or so. And he's the guy that fills up the stat sheet. Again, he can get a lot of assists playing alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis. So I think Rondo's very viable here at 5K. Again, the slate does not have a whole lot of great value plays. So some of these guys in like the 5K range, maybe the mid-tier build is the way to go in the slate. Unless some more value opens up. Again, possibly Tyus Jones value, we'll see. So Rondo at 5K I think is very viable as well. Even Lonzo Ball here at 4.9K. Revenge game for him as well. I only played 21 minutes in the game against the Clippers. They've been bringing him off the bench because of that injury. If he starts, I would really like him. If he's going to continue to come off the bench, I still think he'd be viable at 4.9K. I think if he comes off the bench, probably gets 25 minutes. If he starts, I think there's a possibility he gets into the 30s. So hopefully, if he does start, again, I would really like him a decent amount there at 4.9K. Isaiah Thomas at 4.6K, don't hate it. He had an off night there against Denver, but Denver, really solid defense. He only had 4 fantasy points. Wow. But yeah, I think he would be in play, at that price. But I think that is, I think that is basically it. So, yeah, like I said, there's a lot to talk about here. 14 games. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, it is really important to do so. That will be in the description below. I will give my thoughts as we get news, throughout the day. Also, I will be live streaming before lock, probably 45 minutes on my YouTube channel. So that is very important to check out the live stream as well. But thanks again for coming and check the video, guys. I really appreciate it, and I will see you later.